I'm in a kind of good mood this morning because is this working? I just looked at. I'm in a good mood this morning because I have got a new strap top. You can't see the colouring because the colouring is shit on this tape, but it's a bright yellow, and I don't have a bright yellow strap top. I got it from Poundland for £1.50, which I think is a bargain. I would have bought more, but the only other ones were extra large. I could have got a pink one, but it was extra large. I don't like strap tops that are just falling off you. I have a few that fitted me and then started stretching, and as soon as they get to a certain size, you have to part. I give them to my mum. But yeah, I love my strap tops, and I do have loads. I've got about 4 pink ones. If you think I'm always wearing a pink strap top, it's because I have 4 pink strap tops. 2 are light coloured and 2 are darker coloured. But yes, I've got a yellow one now, so the yellow one might be my favourite just because it is yellow. And I've only got one yellow. I really like the blue one. I had a really nice blue one, but that one's the one that it's stretched, and I had to give it to my mum. But anyway, that was why I bought the blue spotted one, because it was kind of a replacement of the other blue one that I had. But anyway, I feel I need to talk about my fish. Yesterday, so I had 3 big ones in the big tank, but I noticed that a few weeks ago I had 4 big ones and a small one, but the small one kept getting bullied by the male, so I put the small one in the second tank, and then I noticed he looked very lonely, like he didn't like being alone, and so I got the second smallest one and I changed it from one tank into the other. And I think I did it too quickly. You're supposed to put them in a bag and you're supposed to calm it, but I put it in a net, and then I had a tub underneath, and I went like that to put it in the other and slowly like warm it in. But I realised that one of my guppies had got caught in the bowl, and so I had to take the bowl back into the original one, and I don't know, I ended up just putting the fish straight into the new tank, and it died within 24 hours. So I know that you need to be really careful when moving fish around. Maybe it was old, and it did look a bit depressed, that one, so maybe it was in the process of dying and I just helped it along by killing it. But basically, after that I'd only had 4 orange fish, and I didn't want to put the small one back into the other one. I mean, now that there was only 4 orange ones, maybe the male wouldn't be so aggressive towards the smaller one, but maybe they were just playing, so maybe it wasn't actually aggression. Maybe I noticed it was chasing him around quite a lot, but maybe that was just part of the game, so I don't know. But I also have noticed that I thought that this male was, there was the 3 females and 1 male, and I noticed that the male, and when the other female died, there was only 2 females and a male, but I noticed that, this is 4, 3 females and a male, but I noticed that that male was something that I thought was a female, because I looked really carefully at all my fish when I had about 12 of them, when most of them were babies, and there was none of them except for the adult one that made the babies, but yeah, they were all female. And then after 6 months I noticed that the largest one, the second largest one, was actually a male, and I noticed that it started getting quite aggressive towards the other male, which was his dad. But yeah, I don't know, it was strange, because it was like, I thought you were a female, but there hasn't been any babies, so even though it was in a tank with like 11 females, it didn't, after the other one died, there was no more new babies. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this male, but it's aggressive, but it just doesn't seem to want to have babies, and I haven't really seen it make much of an attempt to have sex. But what I have noticed is that there's like a little cave in the tank, and it always likes to hide with one of it. So with the one that's most similar to it, there's 2 large red ones, and they are a very good couple, but they basically turn that into their home, and I can rarely see them in the tank because they're always usually hiding in that. It's like a love cave, but they don't seem to ever make love, and they don't seem to ever make babies. So after that, I put the smallest one that was getting bullied in the second tank. I tried to give it a friend, and that one died, so I had to go to the shop and I had to buy another one. And well, because this other male that I've got seems to be failing and not making any babies, I thought I would get a male, and so it had like a partnering here and then 3 in the big one, but yeah, because the red one loves the red one and the orange one was getting left out, and the new couple that I've made here with the small red one or reddish one and then the new male that I bought, I thought I'd put the orange one from this one into that one, and within like seconds that orange one was trying to mate with that new one that I put in, even though it's like a lot bigger. So it's obviously the male's like a not half size, but just a bit not full sized. He's definitely smaller yet, but yeah, he obviously is very racist because he doesn't want to have sex with the red one, but he does want to have sex with the orange one, unless of course he's thinking the red one's the same size as me. I think that's too small. I prefer it's either a fish who prefers to date to have sex with fish of its same color, or it's a fish that doesn't want to have sex with another fish of its same age. Maybe it doesn't like the red one because it's a bit smaller, and I don't know if fish can even have sex when they're like female and half size. Yeah, I know my guppies don't try and mate with the half size guppies. I was thinking that there's no like really small babies. They're all like 3. Most of my guppies now are about 3-4 months old, but they're still like very very small. But yeah, I was thinking of trying to mate some of the guppies with the females, and I realised that only 2 were actually fully grown, and those are the only 2 that the 3 guppies, the males that I tried to put with them, that they only went after the 3 fully grown ones. So guppies don't actually like having sex with half grown female fish. But so maybe this orange male also didn't like having sex with something with a fish that's a lot smaller, and maybe that's the reason why the other red male was kind of attacking the smaller one. Just like, you're too small for me. So I don't know, but it is interesting though, because there's only a few months between them, and yet the small red one just isn't growing very well. So it's almost like it should be a lot bigger. There's only a few months apart, and I've had them for over a year. So I'm sure they were born like July last year. All of the babies, all the orange. But I think I think this one must be one of the ones that were born a bit later, but it was only a few months later. So it's at least 9 months, and it's still very very small. So I'm wondering if it's got like a growth disorder or something, and maybe that's why the red male didn't like it, and that's maybe why the orange one is. I don't really know, but I'm observating my tank, and I'm finding it a little bit interesting. It's more interesting than just yelling at people anyway.